Minimalism in urban sketching is a style that emphasizes the use of clean lines, limited color palettes, and the deliberate omission of unnecessary details. By simplifying their sketches, these artists are able to capture the essence of a scene and convey its atmosphere with just a few well-placed strokes. Today, I want to show you 5 of my most favorite urban sketchers who epitomize this minimalist sketching style. Let's delve into how they manage to sketch less, yet produce more visual impact. For those of you who don't know me, I am Taria, and I run a blog all about urban sketching, which you can find at urbansketchingworld.com, as well as this YouTube channel, which covers urban sketching, travel sketching, as well as tutorials and just general sketchbook experimentations and that kind of thing. If you want to learn how to let go and just get sketching, go check out learn.sketchyadventures.com. All of these links are in the description below. So the urban sketches I'm going to discuss in this video are Cruz, Liz Watkins, Emily Thomas, Jim Butler, and João Catarino. I just want to give a special mention for John Harrison. Some of you who've been watching this YouTube channel for a while now know that I really love his style, and John even kindly agreed to an interview with me a couple years back, which you can check out in the corner here. I feel like, as I've mentioned him quite a lot before, I thought I should try and introduce you to some sketches you may not have encountered before. So I'd love to hear from you guys who some of your favorite urban sketches are that you consider have a minimalist style and use lots of white space and that kind of thing. There's definitely way more sketches I could mention here, but these 5 have really just captivated me recently, so I just wanted to share them with you. By the way, if you are more of a reader or you want to bookmark the artists that I've mentioned here, then you can head over to my blog posts. I've got 2 blog posts about this subject matter. Again, the links are in the description. And make sure to stick around to the end of the video where I give you 5 top tips on how you can achieve this minimalist urban sketching style. Okay, so the first urban sketcher then that I want to mention, whom I kind of just rediscovered earlier this year, is Cruz. Tiago is a designer, artist and lecturer at a Portuguese university. I don't know a huge deal about him, but it does look like he's quite an active urban sketcher in Portugal. One of his sketches was included in Liz Steele's 5-minute architecture book, which I absolutely love, by the way, so I really encourage you to grab a copy of that book if you don't already have it. Tiago's sketches transport you to bustling city streets with their effortless simplicity. His compositions often feature bold, confident lines that capture the architectural elements of the urban landscape. Tiago's use of negative space is particularly noteworthy, as he skillfully leaves areas blank to create a sense of balance and also harmony within his sketches. I particularly love Tiago's sketches of the beach and also some of his minimalist landscape scenes, and I'm completely obsessed with this sketch of things on the table. I actually think it's perfect, and I really don't say that lightly, guys, but I just think it strikes the exact balance between minimalism and storytelling, and he needn't draw anything else to convey this scene. I just absolutely love it. So I think Tiago's style epitomizes the concepts of economy of line and also color, and I'm a huge fan of his style. I love scrolling through his Instagram profile, looking at the consistent presentation of his sketches in this little A6 sketchbook. Also, look out for the odd sketch that he's subtly added to using some digital media, which is quite a fun little effect as well. All right, so moving on to Liz Watkins. She is a professional illustrator based in London. She specialises in travel illustration and prefers to draw on location whenever possible. She's an active member of Urban Sketches London, and she also has a wonderful blog which you can find at lineandwash.co.uk. Again, I'll leave the link in the description, but I really encourage you to explore that. And she's just such an inspiring sketcher, and I'm a huge fan of her work. I'm sure quite a few of you have probably heard of her before. I feel like Liz has a unique ability to distill the energy and character of urban environments into minimalist sketches. Through her clean line work and her sort of limited colour palette, I would say. She creates scenes that are both understated and also captivating. And she often focuses on the interplay of light and shadow, which showcases her observation skills and her attention to detail. And for me, Liz is undoubtedly the queen of white space. Every time I see her work, I feel like I can learn more about composition, when and where to leave white space, etc. Liz does run workshops from time to time, so I do encourage you to keep an eye on her social media and her blog as well. And if she's someone you're keen to learn from, yeah, I definitely recommend keep an eye on that. So don't forget, guys, at the end of this video, I'm going to discuss a few tips and tricks that you can use to help you achieve this minimalist sketching style. So do stick around to the end. And the next sketcher that I would like to mention is Emily Thomas. Emily is a reportage illustrator, also based in London. I think I actually discovered her work when I was going deep into the topic of reportage illustration. I find this subject absolutely fascinating, and the work of contemporary reportage illustrators such as George Butler, Lucinda Rogers and Lyndon Hayes, to name but a few, really excites me. I discovered Emily through her work as an artist in residence at West Middlesex University Hospital, as well as her work at Chelsea and Westminster Hospital in 2020, which must have been a really interesting time to be in the middle of a very overwhelmed healthcare facility, to say the least. I think as a reportage illustrator, the skill of saying more with less is absolutely essential. And I think Lyndon Hayes and Lucinda Rogers' work could easily have been in this video, but I'm saving those two for a different video on a different subject matter at a later date, so do watch this space. But you can absolutely see this less is more kind of feeling in George Butler's work too. Just so much white space and just a real economy of line, just so that he can tell the story that he needs to tell in probably as little time as possible, seeing as he is generally a conflict artist and works in kind of tricky situations. So Emily's sketches are characterized by their simplicity. So simple, but such a strong sense of composition. I feel like Emily just excels in capturing the essence of a place with just a few well-placed lines, allowing viewers to fill in the gaps with their own imagination. And her work reminds us that less can truly be more when it comes to urban sketching. This is a concept I'm really keen to put into practice as soon as possible. Well, when you guys are watching this video, I would have just been out with Urban Sketches Johannesburg, so I'm keen to see if I can try and bring some minimalist vibes to my sketches. Okay, so moving on to number 4, which is Jim Butler. He is an artist and printmaker from Dublin, living in the UK, and he's also a lecturer in illustration at the Cambridge School of Art. Jim takes his inspiration from the urban environment and draws with ink and collage directly on location. I am absolutely obsessed with Jim's style. It's just incredible. His sketches are a masterclass in using minimalism to evoke a sense of mood and atmosphere. He often employs a limited colour palette, sort of relying on his use of collage, but also his line work as well, to convey the essence of a place. Jim's sketches invite viewers to explore the urban landscape through their own interpretation, leaving room for imagination and also some personal connection as well. Yeah, as I said, completely obsessed with Jim's mixture of collage and ink. I haven't really seen too many other urban sketches employ collage within their work, but Jim just pulls it off so well, and we're just absolutely hooked on this style. I really want to have a go at using collage in my sketches at some point. I really feel inspired looking at his work. I'd be interested to see what you guys think. Let me know if you're also super inspired and if this is something that you want to have a go at as well. Okay, so moving on to João. I actually had to look up, or on Google, I had to listen how to pronounce his name because I just wasn't sure. I think I'm saying it right, João. Apologies if I'm not saying it right, but I really did try to research how to say this. So I don't know too much about João, but I do know he lives in Portugal and that he loves surfing, that he's an urban sketcher, of course, and he's also an illustration and drawing teacher. I think he's also been an instructor at several Urban Sketches symposiums in the past. And to be honest, I think I just happened to stumble across his work, probably either on Instagram or Pinterest, just because obviously I follow so many urban sketches and everything to do with urban sketching. The good old algorithms popped up his work for me, so that's cool. And João's minimalist sketches really capture the essence of urban life in a way that's both striking and thought-provoking. His use of bold shapes and negative space creates a sense of simplicity and tranquility, despite some of the bustling scenes that he portrays sometimes. I particularly love how João's way of depicting water and sand, just the way he says so much with so few brush marks, often directly in watercolour as well, so no drawing, it's just directly in watercolour. It's absolutely masterful in my opinion. João's sketches often focus on the human element, depicting people going about their daily lives in the urban environment and adding a touch of storytelling to his minimalist approach. So I really love the way he draws people just with shape rather than line. I think it's just really, really beautiful, and I just absolutely love his work. So in conclusion then, these 5 urban sketches really demonstrate the power of minimalism in capturing the essence of a scene. Through their deliberate use of clean lines, limited colour palettes, and omitting unnecessary details, they're able to create sketches that leave a lasting impact. Whether it's architectural beauty, interplay of light and shadow, or the human element, these sketches show us that less can truly be more in the world of urban sketching. So on to the last section of this video. I just want to give you some guidance or some advice, and I'm talking to myself as well as you guys when I'm covering this. What can we focus on to try and achieve this minimalist kind of style? So number 1 is simplify. So simplify the scene. When you're approaching a complex urban scene, focus on simplifying the elements you're choosing to include in your sketch. Look for strong shapes, prominent lines, and distinctive features that capture the essence of the place. By eliminating unnecessary details, you can create a more minimalist and impactful composition. Number 2, use clean lines. Emphasize clean, confident lines in your sketches. Avoid overworking or adding unnecessary embellishments. And when I had a workshop with Rob Sketchman, actually, he also on the iPad was saying avoid those kind of hairy lines, you know, those feathery lines. Go in with a bold, confident line, and that kind of simplicity and clarity of your line work will really help with this minimalist style. And also pay attention to the direction and weight of your lines as well to convey depth and structure in your sketch. A third tip is to limit your colour palette. Minimalist sketches often benefit from a limited colour palette, so I recommend choosing a few key colours that represent the mood or the character of the scene and just use them sparingly. And this can create a really harmonious and cohesive look in your sketch. You can consider using muted or neutral tones to maintain a subtle and understated aesthetic, but you can also add in like one bold kind of bright colour just to really set the sketch off, like we saw in João's work. Number 4, embrace negative space. So negative space, or the empty areas of your sketch, can be a really powerful tool in minimalist urban sketching. So I really suggest looking at Liz Watkins' work for this. So instead of trying to fill every single corner, leave strategic areas of white space to create a sense of balance and visual interest. And negative space can also help emphasize the subject or focal point of your sketch as well. And the final tip is to prioritize your composition. So composition plays a crucial role in minimalist urban sketching. So if you just look at Tiago's work with the wine glasses and the bottles on the table as an example of this, so pay attention to the arrangement and placement of elements in your sketch and strive for a balanced and harmonious composition that guides the viewer's eye through the scene. So you can experiment with different perspectives and viewpoints as well to create a dynamic composition that really enhances the minimalist vibes that we're going for. So remember, achieving a minimalist style in urban sketching takes lots of practice and lots of experimentation. things that I really love to do over on my Patreon channel. So do go and check out my Patreon page. We do lots of sketchbook experimentations. That's literally what we do every single week, is just experiment in our sketchbooks. So if that sounds like something you'd be into, then come and check it out. How little can you draw to capture the story in front of you? That is the challenge. Really hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. I really had lots of fun putting this one together. I always love doing videos like this. I've got quite a few other ones on my channel listing favorite sketches of particular styles and that kind of thing. So do go check them out. And yeah, any questions, any comments, feel free to leave me a comment below this video. You can also always email me as well, taria@urbansketchingworld.com. Love chatting to you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.